All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody, and good evening. This is Angie Warrington, and I want to thank you all so very much for taking time out of your busy lives to join us for this great TNT call. That's our Thursday night training. I know I'm 12, okay? It just was fun. Anyway, I'm really excited about the call tonight, and we have two really great guest coaches that are going to speak tonight that have really great stories. They will really help inspire you for your rank run for Diamond. They knew and they know what to do to get it done. And just so everybody knows, I am at a district track meet for my son Dylan. So Michelle has graciously offered to host the rest of the call because I don't have a lot of cell service here, and I don't want to interrupt this great call with me not having good cell service. So with that, everybody, I hope you're going to take great notes. The calls are always recorded, and Michelle does such an awesome job getting them posted. Here again, this is why our profession of network marketing is so awesome, and getting to be a Beachbody coach frees us up to be able to come to track meets like this, do a business training webinar, and still support your kids in sports. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Michelle, and everybody, I hope, again, you take great notes because our two speakers tonight, our coaches, really have some great things to share with you, and they're exceptional leaders, and I want you guys to all learn and glean wonderful things from them. So, Michelle, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Well, thank you again for hosting for Blake and I tonight. We appreciate you stepping in for us, and I'm going to just let you take it away.
All right. Thanks so much, and good luck to Dylan.
Oh, thank you. We're really excited for him.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, everybody, good evening. Welcome. It's so awesome to have you on tonight's webinar. My name is Michelle DeMarco, and I'm really excited to share our training that we have planned for you. There are so many different topics to talk about when it comes to running your own business and to being a Beachbody coach. And, we're heading into June. And heading into summit time. And that's always a super exciting time because summit is just one of those, awesome synergies in our business, right? But before, I'm just going to interrupt myself. As we have questions, I'm going to encourage you all to go to our Team Fit Revolution Elite page. And that's where right here, I want you to put all your questions because I'll be checking that as our guest speakers are talking. Okay. So anyway, so what I'm going to tell you is, we're approaching June. It's kind of scary a little bit, right? We're going to have half the year over as of June, right? And so I know if you're like me, when January hit in 2013, you wrote down some of the goals that you wanted, hopefully both personally and for your business. And it seemed like, gosh, I have this whole year to conquer these goals. And now, half of 2013 is going to be over. And so, for me, I know I sit there and go, okay, what have I done? This is a really good time to take a look at those goals, break them back out and say, okay, how many of these goals have I actually accomplished? Where do I stand? Am I halfway there? Am I on track? Am I behind? What do I need to change? And so, and maybe you didn't set the goal to grow and rank in your business. Maybe you aren't dreaming of getting on that cruise for Beachbody next year. Maybe you don't, think about, being financially free and being able to help your friends and family and being able to have some of the luxuries in life. But, let me tell you a story about some of the things that happened to me along this journey with Beachbody that has been an absolutely incredible journey for me. I'll take you back. We have to go back to 2010. And I'm a single mom of four. I live in Phoenix. And I had, my fourth child I had when I was 36. So the baby weight that, fell off me with the other three did not fall off me with the fourth child. And I was struggling. I was sitting at, being at least 50 to 60 pounds overweight, if not more, probably more. And I was like a newly single mom. I'd been through divorce. I'm struggling financially. I was just very unhappy. And I had actually just been told by a guy I met on eHarmony, believe it or not, that I was too heavy, he literally told me he only dates women that look like supermodels. And that was literally what he told me. So I was floored. I was completely floored. And I just felt like my life was just falling apart. I really did. I thought, I have just reached a new low. I didn't know how much further I could, go down to hit bottom. And I remember to this day, like it was yesterday, sitting on the couch. It was a Sunday morning. And I am not in any way exaggerating when I tell you I was eating ice cream out of the carton, and P90X infomercial came on. And I was laughing at myself because I'm sitting here eating ice cream, watching the P90X infomercial that I had seen many, many times and watched intently and yet did nothing. But there was something about the timing of when I was watching that infomercial. There was something about just my ego being hurt, about being rejected by a man because I wasn't thin enough. And, just kind of having this bad life that I was not, it wasn't where I thought I would be at 38. I thought I was supposed to be riding high and getting to the pinnacle of my life. And instead I was crashing and burning. And I don't know what it was that made me pick up that phone, but I was one of those people that picked up the phone and made that call to order P90X off the infomercial. And once I did that, I just remember feeling so excited because I had just taken action. I put the ice cream back in the freezer and I was so excited. I literally cut out a picture of Jillian Michaels and put her on my fridge and a big, letters, no going in the fridge. And I felt like I had made a decision for myself, something that was new, something that was going to take me somewhere I hadn't been before. And I waited anxiously for the P90X to come, and I was so excited. And I started on this journey. I made a commitment to get up every single morning at 5 o'clock because that was the only way I could do the workout because I had to work all day. And I started changing. And I realized I was told that, very early in, there was also a coaching opportunity. And I saw an opportunity to also change my finances because that was also abysmal. I didn't know how I was ever going to get out of the situation I was in. And all of a sudden, it was really for me, like the skies parted and all the answers kind of got handed to me at one time. And I was so excited to go on this journey. My body was changing, my mind was changing, and my finances were changing because believe me, I started blogging from like day one and I started talking about my journey and people were following me and I was inspiring people on Facebook. And so my business started to go pretty quickly. But, I knew from the very beginning, I wanted to achieve Success Club. I knew I wanted to be that year was a cruise. And it was like my total dream to take my mom on this like luxury vacation because my mom was also in a situation where she just kind of had a lot of down luck. And it just seemed like all I wanted to do is be able to take her away and have this wonderful vacation and have a new body, a new life. And I was sitting there going, how am I going to do this? And it's really great to set a goal and to say, I want to get to diamond level. And for me, because I joined a little later in the year at the time, I had to achieve diamond within 90 days in order to get the special points that I needed that then I could add on the rest of the year in order to achieve the whole year Success Club. So I only had, 90 days to get to diamond in order to achieve my goal. And so I was going to make it happen. I decided very early in, it was about maybe a month in, that I was going to hit diamond. And so I made a list of every human being I knew. This is so typical, what we're told, but folks, I'm just telling you what I did. This is the honest truth. I made a list of every human being I knew that I can remember. And I wrote to every single person personally on my Facebook. Now, I probably couldn't do that now because I have so many friends. But at the time, I was around 300, 400 friends, which I think is pretty normal for most people. And I literally wrote to every single person and just said, hey, I started this business. Either you or someone you know might want to A, lose weight, or B, change your financial situation. And from that alone, just from doing those two simple things, I reached diamond in 90 days. And so it wasn't rocket scientry. It wasn't, everybody was always like, oh, it's such a mystery. How did you get to diamond? How did you do that? It's really not as hard as you think. So much of it is in our head. Well, that one's not going to say yes. That one's not going to want to hear from me. That one's not, we prejudge everybody. And let me tell you, all the people I thought were a slam dunk weren't. All the people I thought were going to say no for sure said yes. And so we cannot prejudge anybody. And so for me, that was my story. And I went on to achieve Success Club every month out of there. And that was the foundation for my business. And so I got to go on the cruise. It was an amazing experience. And let me tell you something, you guys, there is something so amazing when you achieve a goal that you've set out to do, and it's a hard goal to do, and yet you achieve it. There is something that you feel, something that changes inside of you for having achieved a goal that you set for yourself. So I with that, that's my little simple story about how I got to Diamond. I did it relatively quickly, but you know what? 90 days. It's always the 90-day cycle. You can do anything within a 90-day window if you set your mind to it. And so we're very lucky that we're going to get to hear from two other coaches that have been on this journey and have achieved the rank of Diamond and higher. They're going to get to tell you other stories, but because it's not as hard as you think. And it's something that if you decide that you want, and you decide, and let me tell you, you can be Diamond by Summit. You can do it. If you decide today that you want to be a Diamond coach before Summit, so you get that lovely little tag on your name tag at Summit, you can do it. And so I'm really excited to turn this webinar over to Taryn Perry, because she has also been such an example and she has a great story to tell. So I'm going to turn it over. Taryn, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am. Thank you, Michelle.
Taryn, can you just tell us a little bit about your life and, how you're a mom and the way you kind of work your business being a mom and stuff? I know you just said, I'm making dinner right now. And it's so awesome that we can be on a webinar and you're making dinner. It's just the best, right?
Well, that's what we do best. We multitask, right?
Yes.
Well, thanks for having me on. And, my life isn't any more exciting than really anybody else's, to be honest. To me, I think my life is fulfilling and it's exciting to us. But, to somebody else looking in, they might say, she doesn't have anything different than I have, or, she looks like she's got everything kind of handed to her or whatever. But, we all started somewhere. And so, most of you, I think, are familiar with my story. And again, it's not earth-shattering, and it's not, so dramatic. But, P90X was introduced to me 5 years ago from a dear friend I went to high school with. And she's my coach, actually, and we're very dear friends to this day. But I needed to lose baby weight after having our second, and he's now 5, which is just mind-blowing to me. I needed to shed that weight. P90X is a solution for me, and it taught me a lot about my relationship with food and fitness, to be honest. But it also catapulted me into something that I did not even expect or anticipate, and that is running my own home business. So I feel really super fortunate to have been in this position, but it took me a lot of time to learn what to do and all the ways to do it, because there's so many different ways, so many different influences in our industry. Because believe it or not, you guys, we're a part of the network marketing industry. That is a yuck word to so many people, but we have such an ability to change the relationship and the experience that people have with this type of industry. And so, I feel like we're all been given such a gift with this company, because everything is done for us. We should feel so fortunate to have people like Blake and Angie and Michelle on our team, teeing up things for us to help us be more efficient in our business. Being on the group page, seeing all the great things that Blake and Michelle have put together with, the 30-day jump start for our customers, and also the 21-day business reset for our coaches. I didn't have any of that when I started 5 years ago. I had to figure out what network marketing was all about. And social media was just kind of starting to evolve. And so I was learning and doing probably all the wrong things on Facebook that I coach and train my team not to do. And that's because I kind of tripped and stumbled and fell along the way. And you just kind of get back up, brush off, all the owies and move on, right? So, when Angie asked me to speak on this call, I shared on Tuesday with some of my downline coaches, really the drive to get to diamond. There's no secret formula. There's no specific thing that I'm doing differently than any one of you could not do to get there. It's just a matter of dedication. If you started in a business 6 months ago, 2 years ago, 3, 4 years ago even, and not where you are today, the one thing that I can tell you is that you really just need to kind of let that go, come at peace with how you got to where you're at and why you're not where you want to be. Because we have the ability to change that. But you have to be willing to make those changes happen in order to do that. And that might mean stepping out of your comfort zone and calling those people, like Michelle said. She called every single person that she could come up with. Email, text them, whatever avenue is going to get through to that person, and start making connections. Don't be afraid or assume that someone's going to say no to you, because you are going to get those no's. But if you don't put that out there to try and make those connections to become that resource to people, you'll never be able to move your business. I'll tell you that where I'm at now as a 4-star diamond coach, I've got an enormous team that I am so very, very grateful for, and wonderful relationships that have come out because of it. But it didn't fall into my lap. I worked really hard to build these relationships with my coaches. And, some of them became discount coaches at the beginning. They were discount coaches, and that is not encouraged to sign discount coaches up. But I'll tell you one thing. One of my discount coaches is one of the most amazing coaches in within our team. Her name's Carla Reese. I know you guys probably are very familiar with who she is, because she's very active on Facebook and is so inspiring. And I think hopefully she's on this call. I owe you a call back, by the way, Carla. But you just never know. You can't prejudge these people, and that's really kind of the message I'm getting at behind not prejudging somebody on your list, not assuming that they might not want what you have. But here's the difference. We have an opportunity to change people's experience with network marketing. So you want to be valuable to them. The moment you come across as a salesperson and you're refining your pitch, and I actually made a post about this yesterday. It was inspired by another coach. We spend so much time refining our sales pitch to better talk about P90X or talk about Shakeology, instead of refining who we are in delivering the value to people that we want to influence. There's such a difference there, because if you think of yourself as a value and as a resource to people that are seeking you and looking for what you have, that can change the entire course of your business. And that's ultimately how you're going to get to diamond. Because if you just go out there and spam and spew about P90X and buy this challenge pack now because it's at a great discount and blah, blah, not that you can't share those valuable, discounts and sales to people, because everybody wants a deal, right? But if that's what you become in social media, and I'm speaking to it from a social media perspective, because that's ultimately how I build a lot of my business. But if you speak to that entirely, if you make a shift from, being the busy stay-at-home mom that's posting pictures of her son, playing in the grass and kicking a ball, to all of a sudden every single thing about P90X or Shakeology or TurboFire, or, sharing tweets and sharing other people's information, you've lost your audience, because you're not that person anymore. It's valuable to them. And that's what people want. They want value out of you. So they want to know what you're going to give them to make their life different. And so, it all goes back to, it still really does come and funnel back down to what Carl Deichler tells us every week, is the 3 vital behaviors. We've got to be inviting every single day. And you're inviting people you're creating relationships with. You're inviting people that you've had past relationships with, right? And you're being a product of the product. So if you're not an active coach and you're not drinking Shakeology or you're not doing a program, then don't expect people to follow and do as you do, because you're not leading by example. And if you're not working on yourself and you're not learning different aspects about how to be a more effective business owner and start thinking like a diamond coach and acting like a diamond coach, it's going to take you that much longer to build. So the moment you start putting on that hat and being that person that is that star diamond coach, that 6-figure income earner, and start acting like that, then your business is going to take a little bit longer to get there. And that has to be okay with you. But if you're like, I'm going to aggressively, I really want to get to diamond by summit, then you've got some work to do. And you've got to let go of the past and what you did or didn't do and move on. Be okay with what you didn't do to be where you're at today. And, you know, that's something that, you know, Angie thought was such a great message. And I think it's true. You know, we beat ourselves up because I've had it. I've had my ebbs and flows, and, you know, life is busy for me right now. It is extremely busy, but I'm not any busier than probably other people that might have full-time jobs and maybe 2 or 3 jobs, or they've got 4 kids or brand new babies, you know, whatever it might be. Everybody's life is important for them, and prioritizing is so critical. But it's got to be based on what you want to get out of life, instead of just, I really want to be the diamond, but I'm really not going to do much about it. You know, you got to start acting like a diamond and treating your business like a business. It's no longer a hobby. But if you want it as a hobby, then great. Own that. Don't get mad or frustrated because you're not a diamond because you're treating your business like a hobby. Treating a business like a hobby is working on it maybe, you know, 30 minutes a day, every other day or something. You know, if that 30 minutes is you're grinding and you're aggressive and you're talking to people, awesome. But if that 30 minutes is spent on time Facebook, seeing what other people are posting and maybe sharing their stuff, that's not productive activity to get yourself to diamond. So really just think about the 3 vital behaviors and what you can be doing to build your business and start acting like a business owner and embracing the fact that we're part of a really great industry. Network marketing should not be icky and yucky. It is awesome because we have an opportunity to cultivate amazing relationships that are going to turn into business partners and that are going to be a vehicle to get you to be your diamond, star diamond, 5-star diamond, 6-figure income business owner as a Beachbody coach. How cool would that be? But it doesn't have to be anything different than what the rest of us are doing within our businesses right now. So I went on and elaborated a little bit more on some topics that I needed to, but Michelle, I'll hand it back to you, and I hope that it provided enough info to move on to our next guest speaker.
Thanks so much, Taryn. It was great hearing from you. And yeah, it's just always so exciting to hear everyone's story. And that's another really important thing to remember, is that everyone's story is different. How you get to diamond may not be how I got to diamond, or how Taryn got to diamond, or how our next speaker got to diamond. The reality is that you can figure it out. You can figure out what's right for you. But the key is that you can't get there if you don't decide to get there. And so I'm going to bring on our next speaker. He's an incredible Beachbody coach. He is a 2-star diamond, has 3 kids. They're 14, 8, and 6. He was a discount coach initially, but then really started grooving around March of 2011. And I'm very excited to hear from him. He is an elite coach. He is an Atlantis and Disney qualifier, a Success Club All-Star. And he has made Success Club for 26 months consecutively. So it's pretty exciting that we get to hear from Mark Linac. Mark, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Take it away.
Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that introduction. And I just wanted to first say that I'm a father, and I actually made dinner tonight. So, you know, not all moms make dinner, so give us dads a little break sometimes.
You're that's awesome.
But first of all, I want to just thank. I wanted to thank Blake and Angie for just giving me the opportunity to talk tonight. It's really a huge honor to be able to talk on their team call. You know, they're just great, amazing leaders, and really you guys are blessed to be working with leaders like them and Michelle as well. I mean, let's face it, right? The reality is Blake and Angie, with this business, they've quote unquote made it, right? I mean, they could have packed it in. They can just be sitting back somewhere tropical, just collecting. But instead, they have you know, provided all this information, all this training for us because they want to help. They want to help us hit our goals. And so don't take leadership like that for granted, because it's few and far between that you get people like that who, like I said, don't have to be here on a Thursday evening, but they are. They're here helping us with our businesses. So just thanks again to Blake and Angie for letting me talk tonight. Let me just take a few minutes just to introduce myself. Some of you guys may not really know who I am. I'm kind of a low-key guy. But Michelle introduced me a little bit, and just a little bit about my background. I officiate college basketball. That's the other thing I do outside of being a full-time Beachbody coach. But like Michelle said, I signed up in 2009, but didn't really get started until 2011. I was really just a discount coach for about 18 months. And it was until I attended a live event, a Super Saturday in Bellevue, Ohio, in the middle of nowhere, with Tommy Migrant, and I started seeing things, started learning more about the business. I mean, I think at that time I was an Emerald, maybe, newer coach, and kind of stumbled my way into that, really by signing up my wife and signing up, I think, my mom to get to Emerald. So I at least knew that. I at least knew it was like a big deal to get to Emerald. But stumbled my way into that training at Super Saturday, and things just started to click. And I'll talk a little bit more about the importance of live events and trainings and why you want to get to them. But since then, attended another event after that in February, another event in March, and when I say I attended events, I didn't attend local events. I mean, I was driving 5-6 hours to get to these events to hear some of these coaches talk and just share tips, because I was eager to learn. Because prior to that, I had lost my job. We had a crazy economy, right? In 2008, 2009, things were nuts. Lost my job. Things were kind of crazy for a while. Didn't really do the coaching thing again until 2011. Doing a couple other independent things. But in 2011, really saw that those things weren't where I wanted to go, and really started focusing with Beachbody. And it wasn't until I attended those events and saw the people talking and got that inspiration of, hey, you know what, I can do this. Like Karen said, like Michelle said, we're not special people, but we came to a point where we made that decision where we were going to go after it, right? I mean, Beachbody's motto is decide, commit, succeed. I mean, that's not just with the fitness program. It's with the business as well. You have to make that decision. You have to commit to it. You can't just say, if you're shooting for diamond, you can't say, I'm going to try to hit diamond by X date. No, I will hit diamond by this date. We got a funny little thing on our team page where if anybody ever says the word try, I'm immediately slamming them with a YouTube clip from Star Wars where Yoda's talking to Luke Skywalker, and he's like, there's no try. There's do or do not. There's no try. So that's a big thing on our team. We don't try. We either do it or we don't. So don't set yourself up for failure by thinking, oh, I tried and it just didn't work out. Well, you just either do it or don't do it. And by having that attitude, you will have the success if you continue to go after it. And one of the big things that really helped me as I started looking at this business and wanting to grow it and making that push to diamond, one of the big things that I saw as important was to have a vision, right? Create a vision of where I actually wanted to go with this thing. There's a proverb that says, where there's no vision, the people perish. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't have a map to where you want to go, you're not going to get there, right? I mean, if you aim at nothing, you're going to hit it every time. You're going to get nowhere. So create that vision for your business. I would encourage you to create a vision board. It's something that we did with our team. We actually went, I think it's like Oprah.com. You can create this vision board and just paste all these little cool little images and things just to have that vision of what you want, long-term goals. What do you want out of life in general? And how is Beachbody going to play a part to help you get that? And then one of the things that you need to do from that point is to reverse engineer that process to figure out what do you need to do every single year, every single month, every single week, every single day to get the results that you want. I mean, you can't just throw it out there. Oh, I want this, nice house, or I want to go on vacation with my family, or I want nicer things, or whatever you want to do. You can't just put it out there like that. You have to have that vision, but then you have to, again, reverse engineer that with specifics, with deadlines, with dates. A goal without a deadline is just a wish. You're just hoping that it happens, and the reality is it won't happen. So set that deadline. And we're fast approaching Summit, so that's a great deadline to have. If you want to be recognized as a diamond coach at Summit, well, you actually have to the end of this month to get there. So I don't know where you're at with your business. You may be a brand new coach. You may be, an emerald coach, whatever. But you can do it. I mean, you have what, a little over 3 weeks to make that happen. And if you really want it, you'll make it happen. So the next thing, and with that, reverse engineering, this is something that I've struggled with for a long time, and I'm getting better at, is to use the tools that Beachbody provides. Use things like the business activity tracker to help you with that reverse engineering process. There's some amazing tools that can help you just track to see where you're at, what you're actually doing. And what happens is when you start using things like the business activity tracker, in your head, you think, oh yeah, I'm talking to people, I'm inviting people, I'm sharing Beachbody with people. But when you actually start tracking it, you're probably doing less than you think. You may think you're inviting or talking to 5 or 10 people, and you're actually talking to 2 or 1. But when you actually track it, and that way you can look back to see, okay, I didn't get the results that I wanted this week, and what was my activity? If I said I wanted to make $100 this week, and I sent out 2 invites, well, that isn't going to happen. That isn't going to make it happen. So what do I need to do to get that? I need to bump up my activity a little bit. It's a great way to track your business. If you're serious about this, you need to be tracking your business. And then once you know where you're going, you need to know why you want to get there. And we've all, what's motivating you? We've all heard what's your why, right? I mean, we've all heard people say that. Your coach has probably asked you, what's your why? And I gotta say, I actually don't ask our team, what's your why? I think it just kind of sounds weird. It's like, how's your who or where's your when? It doesn't register to the average person. People can't make sense out of that. So I just ask my coaches, what's motivating you to get started as a coach? What do you want? Why is that important to you? How are you going to feel when you actually look back and you get that goal? You look back and you say, I did it. How is that going to feel? So I help them to paint a vision of what they want to accomplish and how it's going to feel to actually accomplish it, right? Because if you don't have that clear, deep reasoning of why you want to do something, what's motivating you to do something. And I have mine written on my whiteboard right in front of me. So I see it as I'm working. I see it all the time, right? And that's to be the best husband and father that I can be. And I know this business, if I grow it and work it right, that's going to allow me to do that. It's going to allow me to have the income that we need to do the things that we want to do, take family vacations. So this year we had the opportunity, we won the Disney trip, and because of Beachbody, we had the opportunity to extend that 5-day trip that they gave us to a 3-week trip. And we went to the Smoky Mountains, went to Florida, went to Washington, D.C., went kind of all up and down the East Coast. It was because of Beachbody that we were able to do that, because I have that clear vision of what I want and why I want it, so that when I'm facing obstacles, when things aren't going my way, when I'm going through a little dip, that why, that motivation for me is big enough to push me through any obstacles that are going to come my way. And that's what you need to have for you. I don't know why you do this business. I don't know what's motivating you, but you need to figure that out and make sure that that's absolutely clear. Because if you don't, and things get tough, and things aren't going your way, and people aren't responding to you, you're going to quit. You just will. If your reason and your motivation for continuing on is not big enough, you will quit. I'm sorry if that's rubbing people the wrong way, but that's the truth. One of the things that you guys get to know me, I don't sugarcoat too many things. I do not work at a bakery. I kind of tell it how it is. So the things that we focus on our team, and hopefully this can help you turn hit on it. I mean, this is basic stuff. I mean, this isn't rocket science that we do. Yeah, there's great tools and things like with websites and social media training and all this stuff. But the reality is that it all comes back to the 3 vital behaviors. So inviting people to challenge groups, inviting people to join you with the business if they're looking for extra money, but just inviting, right? And creating that relationship, inviting to a conversation to even bring certain things up, being proof that these products actually work. I'm not saying you have to be a fitness model. I'm not saying you have to be in perfect condition, but you need to at least be on the journey. People need to know that you're on that journey in some way. So maybe you're at a party and you're you have different things on your plate, and that spurs a conversation of what's going on with you. Why are you eating so healthy? Why are you eating all that rabbit food? But you're proof that, hey, you know what? I'm on this journey. I'm doing this thing. And then personal development. If you're not engaging with personal development, you're selling yourself short. I'll just say that. I'll be honest, I was not a big personal development person. In the beginning of when I first started figuring coaching out, I kind of just thought it was all a bunch of mumbo jumbo, like, yeah, let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and everything's going to be great. That's kind of what I thought of personal development. But then I learned a lot more. I started struggling with my business and realized that, okay, I need to start reading books on how to communicate better with people, how to lead people better, all that type of stuff. And then the other things that we focus on are consistency. When Michelle was introducing me, she mentioned that I've hit Success Club for 26 straight months. Again, it was March of 2011, and I consider my start date when we really started going after it. And I made that decision right then. I saw the people up on stage talking and showing off all their accolades and getting recognition, and I'm like, you know what? These people are not any more special than I am. They're average people. If they can do it, why can't I do it? If they can do it, I'm gonna be up there. I'm gonna be up on that stage one day. So I made the decision right there that I'm gonna hit Success Club, and I made it non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable for me to hit Success Club. I'm going to do whatever it takes to hit Success Club. You have to have that mindset. You can't go into it with the mindset of I'm going to try to hit Success Club. You have to go into it with the mindset of I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it happen this month. And that may require you to sleep a little less. That may require you to work a little more after the kids go to sleep at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, 1 in the morning, getting stuff done. Not busy work, not making sure your website looks perfect, but getting real work done, sending invites, returning messages, whatever the case may be, and just making it happen. And with that, we all talk about treating your business like a business, right? But the reality is that most of us have never been business owners. We have no idea what that takes to be a business owner. So what I talk to my team about is we talk about treating this business like it's a job. Okay, and that may sound a little weird, but the idea is to treat it like a job in the sense of you need to clock in and clock out. So if you have 3 hours a week, 4 hours a week, 5 hours a week, whatever your schedule is, your life, family, work, everything you got going on, maybe you have 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, half hour here. Clock in, clock out, just like I think Michelle was saying earlier, and get it done in that 15 minutes or half an hour, and then clock out and spend the rest of your time with your family and the rest of your time with your kids, or go to work, or whatever you need to do. But treat this business in the beginning like it's a job. Punch in, punch out, and get your work done when you have to get it done. And then the last thing that we focus on really big with our team is getting to live events. Again, that's where I credit my kind of start, was attending a live event and hearing the stories of people. That's all this business is. If there's one thing that you can figure out about this business, how to be successful, if you can be a really good storyteller, you will have a ton of success telling stories about people's fitness transformations, their financial transformations, what things that they had to overcome, because stories are going to relate to people. They all relate to somebody's story. The facts tell, stories sell. I'm sure you guys have heard that a million times, and it's the truth. You can tell stories and hear people's stories and take those stories and write them down and memorize them, that when you talk to somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I just don't have any time. Really? You know what? Actually, my friend so-and-so is busy with her 3 kids and she has a job and she made it happen. So is it that you're serious about it or you're not? You can have those stories and relate them to them so that they can say, you know what? Yeah, they can do it. I can do it. So get to events. If you want to be a leader with this business, you want to get to diamond, you want to go beyond diamond and be a leader, you have to get to events. Leaders show up. They show up every day just when they feel like it, right? If you think about big companies, Walmart, JCPenney, do you think JCPenney, do you think he just showed up when he felt like it? No, he showed up every day, whether he had the sniffles, whether he was sick. He didn't just say, oh, shop's closed today because, I got a little runny nose and I don't feel good and my feelings got hurt by somebody yesterday. No, he showed up every single day and worked his business. So if you can focus on those things, focus on the 3 vital behaviors, focus on being consistent with your business, treating it temporarily like a job, getting it done, and then making every effort to get to live events. Get to Summit. If you're not registered for Summit now, register for Summit. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Don't worry about who you're going to stay with. You'll figure that out along the way. Just go and register for Summit and make it happen. So that's it. That's all I got for tonight, Michelle. Hope that helped a little bit.
That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. And I have to second your encouraging people to register for Summit, because it occurred to me as you were talking that my first Summit was within my first 2 months. They had it back then. I don't know if you had gone to this particular one. I think it was in May. It was like early May. And it was the last one they had in the Santa Monica area. And for me, I say I went diamond in 90 days, but I actually went diamond in 3 weeks, because I came back from Summit so fired up and so ready to do whatever it takes to get where I wanted to go, that I literally went diamond in 3 weeks from that event. And so that's really what Summit can do for your business. And the other side of that is get your team to Summit. The following year, I went back to Summit with something like 10 people on my team. And it was so much fun. And it was so exciting to see the light go off in their eyes at Summit. And there's just something about it. And of course, the Super Saturdays are wonderful and a huge part of building your business and your team. But there's just nothing like Summit. And if you have any possibility, whatever you have to do, get your ticket. And as a member of this team, we're going to have our own special t-shirts. We're going to be representing. So we're going to be doing some really cool stuff. You're going to want to make sure you're there, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So with that, I'm going to open it up for questions. Mark, do you have a couple seconds to stick around, or do you need to hop off?
Yeah, no, it's cool. I can hang out for a little bit.
So I'm just checking our Facebook group. That's where I asked everyone to put questions, and there are no questions. So I'm going to refresh. I'm going to give you guys like 2 seconds to put some questions on there.
I must have covered absolutely
everything. I know. I actually do think you were very thorough. That was awesome. But I think that's the beauty of it, is really, it's like at the end of the day, you really hit the nail on the head about making the decision. There's no try. There's only do or do not. And and you're right. Like, especially in that first 90 to 6 month period, if you're not blocking out time that's specifically for work on your Beachbody business, then you're missing a lot of productivity time, because I think a lot of people get caught up in spinning their wheels because they don't realize that. And they mean well, they really want to, it's like, I'm sure everyone on this webinar really wants to be diamond, really wants to be multiple star diamond. And what happens is, I think we let life get in the way, instead of allowing, instead of actually sitting down with our upline or upline diamond or whoever it is, and just committing to certain hours to working our business and getting it done.
Yeah. And one thing real quick, if I can just mention, I know a lot of people are making a push for diamond, to be recognized as a diamond coach at Summit, which is a huge accomplishment. I mean, there's going to be so many people there. They're expecting close to 10,000 people there, and there's going to be a very small percentage that are diamond and above. And if you really want to get to that diamond level, and I know there are so many ways to build your business, right? Facebook and website and all that type of stuff. In this next 3 weeks, you got to put some of that stuff on the back burner. Making sure your website looks pretty, put that on the back burner. Making sure your Facebook fan page looks all pretty and you have everything perfect, back burner. Your only job for the next 3 weeks is to invite everybody you can to a challenge, or to talk to them about coaching, to invite them to look at something about your business. If you want to get to diamond. If you don't, hey, that's fine. That's your prerogative too. But if your focus is to get to diamond, you need to focus on the activities that actually create results, right? Like now results. And that's connecting with new people and inviting people. Those are 2 things that make money now.
Yep, that's exactly right. And the one thing that I was supposed to mention, and I did not, but here I am doing it now. Go to Online Home Party. This is a website that Blake had put together years ago about how to do an online home party. So, hopefully all of you have actually had a home party, and I recommend you have them regularly because number one, it's a lot of fun. And it's a way I can entice my friends to come over. And then number two, it's just always good to be able to practice your presentation skills in an environment where it's just your friends and your people that care about you. So you're getting better at talking about the business in a non-intimidating environment. But on top of that, we have an online home party training at this website. And it's just a great way to reach people that are, let's say, all my family's in New Jersey. I'm in Phoenix. So it's not practical for my family to come to my actual home party, but you can do an online home party or a Facebook event and things like that. So it's definitely there for your resources. Please make sure you check it out. And basically, we really have no questions. So I think we're going to go ahead and let you guys have your evening. This has been a wonderful call. And thank you so much, Mark and Karen, for sharing. It was just so inspiring. And we look forward to hearing more from you on our Thursday night trainings. And we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much. I'll get this recording up probably in the hour. Take care, you guys.
All right, good night.
Good night.